You have to build an ecosystem, and that's part of the problem is when you have a new industry like crypto, the companies have to build everything from the ground up.
I'm Logan Plaster here at the Sidebar Summit inside the New York Stock Exchange, here with Marissa Kim from Abra. We just heard a little update from Abra. You're head of digital asset management. Tell me a little bit about your day-to-day.
So I work with family offices and high net worth individuals and help them understand how to get crypto exposure, everything from like holding custody of Bitcoin to we have products where you can generate yield on Bitcoin, yield on Ethereum, Solana, and kind of the long tail of digital assets. We also do kind of custom investment strategies if a family office is like, these are my goals, I already have exposure to Ethereum, what else can I do? We kind of help work with them to come up with those solutions.
I love that you have that perspective because one thing I can't help thinking about in an environment like this is what about everybody else? What about your traditional investors? What about family offices? What are you finding in terms of what their appetite is for this kind of investing and risk in general?
I think it's changed a lot. The clients that we started out with a couple years ago were people that were already bought into the vision of Bitcoin and where the whole space is going. But now that the regulation is getting a little bit more clear, we're starting to see family offices that probably wouldn't have touched the space because that was always their biggest issue. They're like, what's going to happen if the government tries to ban it or sees it as competitive? What if they shut down the rails, the banking system, which they did try to do? So I think now that that's de-risked, everyone who kind of was waiting on the sidelines, maybe just doing their research, they're starting to come in. So we're starting to see more institutional capital come in. It's still a little slower. You don't really have endowments or like those types of conservative investors in yet, but they're starting to learn.
That's so interesting to me because the cultural element of it, the stigma that used to be associated with crypto and to some degree still is a real thing when you think about the strength of the economy. So much of the economy is how are we feeling about X or Y right now? And you're seeing that shift at the family office level. How do you talk to a skeptical family office about where Bitcoin is at in 2025?
Larry Fink and BlackRock have done a great job of kind of putting out this narrative. Every time he goes on TV, he's saying this is a safe haven asset. Having the largest asset manager in the world go out and say that has really had a huge impact because that was the thing. People kind of classified it as a risk asset. So when the risk appetite was low, like it's been the last couple of years, people were not comfortable allocating, but he's out there saying it's actually a safe haven asset. So people that are allocating to bonds or, gold, they might start thinking about putting some money into Bitcoin. And I think he's a marketing engine and everyone in the space benefits from that.
Bitcoin sort of has a certain level of public consciousness, but now what Abra does, there's all these things being built on top of distributed finance that are sort of beyond what people are thinking about day to day. So explain to us what Abra does and kind of how it could impact a normal individual.
I think the thing that we do that's really interesting is we kind of merge these two worlds of the DeFi world, which, some people aren't really familiar with what DeFi is, but it's basically financial transactions that run on blockchains like Ethereum and Solana. And there's kind of primitive applications of like lending, decentralized trading, decentralized prediction markets. So kind of a lot of the things that we do in a centralized model today, we think are going to be rebuilt on these crypto rails. We're starting to offer products, basically make these experiences user-friendly because today, if you try to go and access these protocols yourself, you're not going to be able to figure out a 25-step process. We're trying to simplify that and be like a regulated platform, a trusted platform that can make it more user-friendly and accessible.
If I was to attempt an oversimplified metaphor, not an app store, not like a Java language.
A little similar to that. We're trying to kind of curate the best that DeFi has to offer, which, great, like super attractive yields that you can earn on kind of the top crypto assets. You can do a lot of things in DeFi. We're trying to kind of package that up and give it to our users.
How do you think that's going to shape the next wave of startups? Because they can now build businesses on your platform.
You have to build an ecosystem, and that's part of the problem is when you have a new industry like crypto, the companies have to build everything from the ground up. It goes to that. It's like we're kind of trying to pave the way in terms of making DeFi accessible, and someone else will start a business. They may use our platform for providing investment products on crypto and that kind of thing.
Well, I'll be excited to see what kind of new startups, new ideas Abra enables in the next few years. So, Marissa, thanks for coming by.